Hello, everyone. My name is Alex Surro, and welcome to the Validating Podcast, a radio show that strives to make any listener smile. Each episode features a new guest who will share what makes them unique. Filled with fun games, exciting questions, and inspiring stories, this podcast is aimed towards encouraging anyone to be happy and confident with who they are. As always, comments are encouraged and positivity is always appreciated. For now, let's sit back, relax, and get on with this week's episode. I hope you all enjoy the Validating Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Validating Podcast, Season 3, Episode 4. I have two new guests for you today, and I am so excited for them to have you on the podcast. One of them I actually met several years ago in my first year of college, but we kind of grew apart. COVID definitely threw things in a weird way, but then some fate just made us kind of come together again. And I met her boyfriend, who's the other special guest, and them two together are just so perfect in so many ways. And they are just the perfect couple to be on this podcast because I love to explore more about them, about who they are, and just kind of reconnect, but also connect with the new person too. So it's been now a year since I met them in a sense. And every time I chat with them, they're so friendly, so engaging, just very thoughtful about what they talk about and who they talk to and about what, like, every time I talk to them, I feel very positive and reassured and just confident with who I'm talking with because they're just great people in every sense of the word. So without further ado, it is Sammi and Tom.
Hello.
Hello, welcome. Are you guys excited to be here?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
right.
we're definitely excited to be here.
And I'm not making you say that, right?
No, I promise no.
Good.
Not being held hostage here.
Good. I'm glad you guys are both here. I'm glad we could figure out a time that worked for both of our schedules because we're both very busy, right? We have so much going on.
Yeah.
It's been
That's
nice.
crazy.
Yeah. So first, let's introduce who you are because I've kind of grown to know who you guys are over the years and stuff, but I want to give you a chance to tell our audience who you are. So Sammi, do you want to start just by who you are and introduce yourself?
Okay, so I'm Sammi. I am 25 years old. Kind of forgot for a second. I'm from Boston, Mass. I work in finance for a mental health hospital. I mean, I've met Alex, at school, like he said before. So what else am I supposed to say?
No, that's perfect. It's like whatever you want, Sammi. It's not like anything that you have to say. It's just whatever you think of when you can introduce yourself. So that's perfect. I also mentioned before Tom introduces himself. Do you remember, and you've said it recently too, that I remind you of your little brother sometimes?
Yes. Oh my God.
So that was
you guys are so similar.
I know. And then one of these days I have to meet him because I want to see what you mean, because that was one of the first things you said to me is like, oh, you
yeah. So like you guys, like you both are so work driven. And when you're in school, you guys are like, you power through. Both of you guys, no matter what comes your way in life, you guys just don't lose focus of like all the things you need to finish, whether it's school, work, or your family, your friends. Both of you guys are very, very driven people, which is like,
thank you.
I don't usually, sometimes I feel like that's hard to come across, like, especially with college students. I feel like there's always some people that, come to college and they think parties all the time. Some people are driven, but you guys are both very career focused.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that very much. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, so Tom, I'm the boyfriend here. I guess I met Sammi back at college, and Alex was also at college with us. So we kind of ran in different circles, but I mean, we were all there. We saw each other there every now and then. I work in human resources, that kind of administrative fun stuff. So we're both kind of in like a kind of business administrative thing. And I think we both enjoy it a lot. So
nice. And Tom, the one thing I wanted to mention about you is that we worked for campus events together, but at like the same time, I feel like, but we never crossed paths.
I think it was the same time, but like, I mean, they were like one person kind of shifts, so we didn't really like, overlap at all. So it's so funny, but it's like,
I know. And it's one of those things, you're right. We're just running in circles, but not with each other. And then after college, we're like, wait a minute. And then we just connected the pieces, and now here we are. So it worked out in the end, which is so funny.
Definitely.
Very exciting. And I wanted to mention Corinne because we mentioned Tom and Sammy on Corinne's episode. So it's only fitting that we mention Corinne now. So Corinne is a mutual friend that kind of put us together in a party setting. And we're like, let's just have a party and let's do it. And then that's when I reconnected with Sammy and met Tom for the first time. And now, like, I think it's been over a year, correct? Because
yeah,
last
it's
summer,
definitely been over a year. Yeah, it's been well over a year, but it's been great.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Reconnecting with you.
Yeah, reconnecting with you, but also just meeting new people. And like me and Corinne always talk about, like, there's different people from different areas and different backgrounds, but we all just come together and have a great time for like 2 hours or so. And it's just such a great feeling. I love it. So very exciting. I'm also wearing a sweatshirt that you can kind of see. It's an elephant is my favorite animal. And it's like an so Corinne got this for me. So I wore it just for her to celebrate her and thank her. So yeah. Why don't you guys talk about how you're doing today? And that could mean like a whole different things because I don't know about you guys, but when I say how are you, a lot of the time I just hear good, how are you? But I want to hear like the authentic, true answer about how you're feeling. Tom, you start this time and then we'll go to Sammy.
Wow. I guess I'd start with like, we recently moved into our first apartment together, which is, our background here. And it's like a silly little thing, but, we have to go grocery shopping today, right? And obviously I've been grocery shopping before, but it just feels different when you're in your own place and you have to be like, oh, this is what I have to cook for dinner, stuff like that, but what I want in the house to really stock up on. So it's kind of like, there's such a sense of freedom, kind of reminds me of like, going to college for the first time living on campus where it's just like, you can do whatever you want, really. It's pretty nice. So I definitely say like it's definitely a good day. It's an exciting day, and it's nice to be able to, have that freedom as well. So
very exciting. Good. And Sammy, what about you?
It's definitely been exciting. So, we've never had our own place before.
Yeah.
I mean, we would go over each other's places because, he's originally from Chelmsford. I'm originally from Rosendale. So being 40 minutes apart, we would stay at each other's places for like a week or two at a time. But I mean, in a sense, like having your own place where there's no roommates, it's so like you said, like the sense of freedom is it's so different from being free in college, but you have a roommate, you have just the room, but everything else is shared versus having your own place. And it's not like we're going home for summer break or winter break. Like this is our home.
Yeah.
So that's been exciting, but a little stressful, but he definitely helps with keeping me calm because I've gone back to school. So now I'm dealing with like working full time and then coming home and then getting right back to work. I'm writing papers and doing essays and just going crazy, doing test exams. And it's been like, it's an accelerated program too. So it's been very, very intense, but he's been helping me to keep my focus and help me stay sane because it's been very hard.
Yeah, good.
But
good.
It's been very exciting, but I'm very excited to be living with this guy right here, especially, he's my best friend. So
good. And that's the way it should be, I feel like, is that you guys kind of support each other through thick and thin and just make sure that you're all just kind of doing the right thing and staying just afloat, basically, because sometimes it's hard to be not stressed at all, but also like just not too much stress because that's a bad thing too.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And it's funny because I've had those like pinch me moments of like, is this really happening? Is this really my life right now? So it seems like that you guys are at that moment too of like, we actually have our own place now. Like, what is this life? So that's so love it. Let's go into that next question because it feeds into what we were just talking about stress. I think of it as a 1 to 10 scale. So 1 is like all stress right now, and you can't really think straight because you're too stressed out about maybe college classes or maybe work, whatever you're doing. Or on the flip side is 10, and you're just all excitement, all happy, everything's good. So if you have that number in mind, I would love to know. Sammy, you start if you have one.
I think with Tom being there to help me, I'm probably at an 8 where it's more excitement and stress.
Good.
Because, when I come home from work, he always helps me to like, I'm time management has been a little bit hard for me since I've been out of college for a while. So like I have a habit of coming home from work and then getting right into work. And like, he kind of like, make sure you like, we need to eat dinner first and then like, you'll be able to focus better. So I end up listening to him and doing that. And it does help because sometimes I feel like my balance of knowing when to relax and when to put in the work can be a little bit difficult. I tend to stress out about work that's due on Thursday, but on Sunday I'm stressing out about it because I'm like, I need to get this done before I have to go back on work on Monday. So I mean, it's definitely an 8. There's more excitement than stress because he's definitely been my balance. Like he's helped me to have a healthy balance on, you know, put in an hour work here and then relax, eat, and then, you know, 30 minutes later put in some more work, but remember to like relax in between. So him giving me those reminders, definitely it's been a lot more helpful than before I knew him. I would just work, forget to eat. It was just, but you know, he saves me.
We forget to take care of ourselves sometimes. We're just focused on the work or focused on anything else but our own sanity. So it's good that you have that system to be like, no, you need to eat before you work.
Yeah.
I'm glad that he's there for that. Good. So then, Tom, up to you. Are you more stressed, less stressed? Where do you lie on the scale?
Alex, I'm at like a 2 right now. I've got nothing to worry about. So I'm starting
other
way around. So I'm at
like
I'm at like an 8 right now. Nothing to worry about. I was like, wow, you sound really stressed. I was like, yeah. So I'm starting a new job in like a week. So really, I mean, for the next week, I'm on vacation pretty much. So I'm happy. I'm got nothing to worry about. So
very exciting. Wait, so can I ask you, because I feel like every time I see you, you are in that kind of mental state of like, yeah, life is good right now. Like everything's going well. Like what is a moment that you felt like an immense stress? If you want to share, you don't have to, obviously, but like I'm curious to see what does kind of cause that stress and those gears to grind, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I mean, I feel like a lot of the time when people are really stressed out, it has to do with work in some capacity or another, you know. So I mean, there's been times I've been at work and especially I work in human resources, as I mentioned. Sometimes that can be a really stressful field because there's a lot of like personal stuff going on, you know, whether it's like with employees or things like that. And there can be times where like, you know, it all comes down at the same time and there's just like so much to handle. And then it's kind of just like, you know, an overload really. And to that, I mean, my biggest thing is I worry about things, I stress about things that I can control, right? If something's beyond my control, I just let it go. I, you know, gotta live with it really. But whatever I can fix, whatever I can, you know, handle, I work on. And if I can't, then I'm just like, well, it sucks, but you know, what can you do?
Okay, well said, well said. Me and Sammy are both like, interesting, but how? Like, how do you think like that? But that's okay. It's because I think, Sammy, do you agree that you're an overthinker? Do you overthink simple situations?
I definitely do. I didn't know it until it was pointed out to me though, because it's like always been me. So for me, it's like when it's something that you do, it's a habit. It does become a habit if it's not already. So I mean, I didn't know beforehand that I would stress to the point where I would forget to eat. Because I'm like sometimes when you're so focused on doing homework and you're in like you know how when you're in the zone and you're just bang things out one by one and you kind of like you don't even feel like you're hungry. You're just like drilling right through. So, and I don't forget, I realized that hours have gone by and I'm like, wow, well, the, you know, dining commons at school was closed hours ago and I didn't get dinner. So it's like, it's very weird how that works.
Yeah, it is. And Tom, do you overthink?
Sometimes I do. But again, like I said, like I overthink about the things I can, you know, change and stuff like that. If I can't change it, then I don't even think about it.
No, and that's a good mentality, right? Because you care. Like it's not that you just don't care about life and you're just like, hey, whatever happens, you like care and you put in effort. But then when it's like your time to just let it go, you're like, okay, good. Like I did my piece. Okay. I like it. I like it. It goes into the next question again. Like, what makes you unique and what makes you kind of stand out? We've touched upon it a little bit, but if you have any more things that kind of add about your own personality, I'd love to hear it. And I'm going to let you guys decide who's ready with that answer. You can decide.
Do you want to go first, or need some time? I can come up with something. Yeah. So I guess for myself in particular, I feel like it kind of goes in like the same vein I was talking about, like low stress kind of stuff. I've always been like a really calm person, I guess. You know, I've worked in retail before, so it's necessary at that point. But I find, you know, in my career and my personal life, it's helped me immensely just to be able to take a step back, not overreact or things like that. You know, it's especially in, you know, HR where I work, it's like super important to just remain calm because so people get, you know, upset, rightfully so, about some things, and then you kind of have to be like the mediator and just come up with a solution, kind of stuff like that. But just maintaining a calm attitude and just like, you know, being friendly no matter what really is. So I found a good strength that I've had.
Yeah, no, totally. And I've been able to see that not in the work setting because I don't work with you, obviously, but just your general aura as you present yourself is a very like person that like you feel like you can talk to about anything and not feel judgment or not feel stressed because you're just that accepting human, which is awesome. So never lose that.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Sammy, did you have enough time to think about your answer?
I mean, if I'm being honest, it was a little hard for me before we did this video thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I mean, I feel like that's not really a question that people just think about. Like, what's unique about me? You know?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, something I did think about was, especially after talking to Tom, my ability to be able to really talk to anyone. And like I don't know, I guess I'm a real big people's person, so talking to people is my thing about anything really. Like I don't know, it's been something I've always loved. Like I've always loved getting to know people and learning about why they think the way they do, which is weird because I don't even work in psychology, but I don't know, maybe after working in a mental hospital it's become more like, I don't know how to explain it. Like it's become more noticeable, that trait about me. Like after working in a mental hospital, where everyone there, even the coworkers, they're very into asking each other all the time, like, how are you on a scale of 1 to 10 today? How are you feeling? Why are you feeling this way, whether it's good or bad? So it's, I guess it's become like more embedded in me to think about how people think, why they do. So just talking to people, it's been like a huge thing, I guess, that's unique.
Yeah, no, totally. And I think that it is unique because it's more than just like you listen and then you kind of like continue the conversation in like a good direction rather than just kind of talking about yourself all the time. And like you just kind of know what they kind of want to talk about, and then you can like gear the conversation to kind of hear more about them. Like you said, you're curious about kind of who they are, and you're really good at like kind of digging deep and like finding out what motivates them or what is different about them by like encouraging them. And that's why I kind of started this podcast, is to kind of figure out who people are and also what they think themselves as and stuff like that. So we definitely are similar in that way. And I think Tom shares that ability too. It's just we're curious about people, and not like in a weird, creepy way, but in a like, oh, like I want to know you and I just want to like be friends with you kind of thing, which is awesome. I think we need more people like that in this world. So that's great. And then validation is the validating podcast after all. So what does validating mean to you guys? And like, you don't have to like define it necessarily, but think of like examples or anything that kind of comes to mind when you think of validation. And again, whoever has an answer, go for it.
Yeah, what do you want me to? All right, I'll go. So I guess validation for me, I mean, when I hear like, I think of like to feel validated or to be validated. And it's kind of like a sense of approval or comfort or like fitting in, I guess, something like that. Where it's like to feel validated is to feel like accepted or to like approved of, something like that. Kind of just like this good feeling overall that you're like where you should be, you know. So that's what I think of when I hear validated.
Yeah, wonderful. Sammy?
I think for me, like being, you know, validating, I feel like it's more for me personally, making sure everything is good, like making sure everyone's around me is good, making sure, I don't know, just a sense of like making sure everyone's okay, like especially like mindset wise and feelings. And you know, I feel like sometimes deep feelings that are bothering people mentally, some people don't always really talk about or share, which could help. Just some people don't realize that talking about something does help a lot. So I feel like, I don't know, like making sure everyone around me is good and okay, and just feeling like not like heavy shoulders.
Right. Not taking on too much, right? Tom, you made me laugh with your text when I texted you yesterday, like, oh, are you ready for today or whatever I said? And you're like, yeah, feeling validated already. I'm like, but we didn't even start with that. Like, how's that possible? But okay. Yeah. I wanted to make sure he was on the same page and everything like that. He was like, yep, I'm ready to go. Validation. Okay, good. This is great. I know. It's so funny. I think it's one of those words that like people always kind of hear about, but they don't know exactly what it means. And it does mean different things to different people. So I was like bringing that to our attention too. Great. All right. It's time for the games. You guys ready?
All right. I think so, yeah.
Okay. It's called, the first one is called Who's More Likely To? So how this game works, it's been passed down for many years now. It's definitely not original by any means, but I like to play it with two different people to kind of see who's more likely to. So I created some scenarios that I didn't really have either of you in mind when I wrote them. I just kind of wrote them, and now I'm like, okay, it'll be a good discussion to see if we agree or not. So the choices are either Sammi or Tom. I'm not part of this. I just get to vote because I wanted to. And I created a sign just so I know like we can all vote at the same time. But Sammi and Tom, you just point to each other and then we can see if we agree or don't agree. Okay?
All right.
Questions before we begin?
Don't think so. No, that's pretty straightforward.
Teacher thing in me that's like, any questions, any confusion? Like, can you clarify anything? Okay, then let's get started. Who's more likely to forget to drink water all day? I'm going to count down. Oh, okay. Yeah. I was going to say we'll count down, but one's a little obvious, just based on what we were saying. So we agree with that.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have to remind you to drink water.
That's so funny. Sam, are you one of those people that are like against water, like you don't like the taste, or you just forget?
I honestly just like forget. I'm doing so many things throughout the day.
Yeah.
It's not just food I forget. I forget water.
So what's even weirder to me is like we'll eat dinner and you can have like water with dinner or some other drink, something like that, and she will finish her entire meal and then start drinking the water afterwards. And I'm like, I can't do that. Like I need to like wash down the food.
Yeah.
She's got like a full glass of water and like at a restaurant we're like about to leave and she hasn't even touched it. I'm like, how do you even do that?
Yeah, right. That's so funny. No judgment, but just like how like, the whole meal without water. Interesting. Okay, that's too funny. Okay. Who's more likely to volunteer to babysit either a niece or a nephew? Because I know that there's new babies in the family. So who's more likely to be like, oh, well, I'll do it. I'll volunteer.
I think her.
Sammi again. Okay, I agree.
Yep.
I agree. But wait, Tom, are you against babysitting, or are you just not one to volunteer?
I love kids. I've got a couple little, I guess my cousin's kids, which I guess is like cousin-in-law or half cousin. I'm not sure what it would be, but I love them. I love spending time with them. But she's like, addicted to them, and she will like kidnap their kids if she can. So
yeah.
We can't joke about that. We can't joke about that. You don't know where that's gonna land. But Sammi, you're not opposed to that. You like the babysitting.
I love babies. I love kids. I like my sister-in-law and my brother just welcomed their first child. She's a little over 2 months old now. I am just obsessed with her. I mean, if I could hold her all the time, I would. Oh my God, like I would love to take her home with me.
So what did I say? You can't do that unless you get parent approval. No.
But yeah, I mean, I love like his cousins, so like their kids would be your second cousins, but I just call them cousins. But he has two that they're beautiful kids, they're well behaved, and I love being around them. I mean, whenever we go to see the family, like I love playing with the kids and using their toys and just showing them how to use, because one of them is like a year old, so she's kind of learning how like to use toys and what to do with them, rather than them some toys that kids can't use at a certain age. But so it's kind of fun, like at that age where you get to play with them at different stages in their life. And I just love being around for that.
Yeah, no, I agree. Kids are fascinating because like we take for granted like all the things that we do just naturally, like talking or sharing or taking turns, like all these things are just so natural for adults. But then when you look at kids, like a 1-year-old, like you're saying, they're still just like figuring out what the heck that means. Like they don't know how to take turns. They don't know what that, like even communicating is hard for young students. So that's fascinating that like they somehow learn, like we get there eventually, but like what steps do they have to take? And it's definitely positive role models. Like I think that seeing someone else do it will be like indirectly helping them, like, oh, they're doing it too, kind of thing. So cool. Who is more likely to win the quiet game? You guys know the quiet game. Yeah. So then let's unpack that, because Tom, you like to talk, correct? You like to engage with conversation, but then
yeah. I mean, I like talking to people. I think it's a lot of fun, but I mean, I also just like, I mean, I could just sit here and not say a word and I'd be comfortable too. It's just.
And that's what I've gathered, and that's why I think it's so funny, because I'm not like that entirely. I think I love listening, like we said, like getting to know people and stuff, but I also love to add my 2 cents in. But like you said, I bet if I didn't ask you any questions this whole time, you'd be like nodding along the whole time, like
yeah, I'd be taking a nap. You kidding me?
Classic. I love it. So that's why I'm trying to engage you with questions and follow-up things like that. Good. And then Sammi, you're the opposite in that way, that you need to like, you feel the urge to ask more questions or to insert your piece, or do you think that you would give it a fighting chance to be in the quiet game?
I mean, if I did the quiet game, I'm totally down for playing, but I know I'll lose.
Right.
I don't know. I just love being in conversation conversations. I love talking to people. I love hearing people's stories. I love asking questions. I love just, I don't know. I've always been that way, I guess. I mean, I love being in conversations at the end of the day. It's just like, even at my job, I mean, if I had a job where I had no coworkers, like if I was just like working by myself, I honestly think I'd blow up. Like I can't not be around people. I'm just such a people person. I feel like I would feel kind of sad not having anyone to talk to.
Yep. Totally.
So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like that's just something like I just need to have.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense. I'm wondering, are you guys competitive and like, would you want to win like just for the sake of winning, or do you not care about that stuff?
For the quiet game?
Yeah.
I mean, no, because I know I'll lose.
Okay, so you're just like giving up and throwing in the towel. Okay.
She'd be disqualified, and I don't think I'm competitive enough to really try that much.
By the time he counts to 10, I've already lost.
You're so okay, fair enough. Moving on. Who's more likely to keep the apartment clean? Since you guys have a new apartment, who's more likely to clean it?
I don't know. I think she is.
It's torn. Okay. But you still like to clean, Tom?
Yeah. I like when it is clean. I don't like the process of cleaning.
Right, but you see how that's messed up. Because to make it clean, you have to clean.
You just got to do step 1 to get to step 2, I guess. But
who's more likely to go a whole day without using their cell phone?
I guess so. Yeah. I mean,
But are you a cell phone user, Tom? Do you like your cell phone?
I like when I have downtime, I'll like go on YouTube and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't really text people. I mean, she's the only person I text, and we're together all the time. So like,
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep, Sammy, you enjoy your phone. I know you do, right?
I mean, I run a food blog, so but it's anonymous food blog, so like I don't have like me on there. But I feel like ever since after COVID lifted, we were going out a lot. We were going to different food places and visiting different places and traveling, like staycations, like we weren't states away. But I would take a lot of pictures, and I'm realizing I'm like, instead of being on Snapchat where pictures just go away after 10 seconds, I kind of like tagging restaurants and places and being like, try this place out, putting the hashtag so other people can see it. And it just became like a habit. So now I'm just on my phone. The main thing I really do is text you or Corinne, and I'm with him all the time, so I like don't text him. But now that we live away, I text my family.
Yeah, makes sense.
Other than that, it's my food blog, really.
Mm-hmm. Would you like a chance to plug your food blog for anyone that's listening that isn't following?
Oh my goodness.
I can put the link in the bio, but also tell us the Instagram handle.
Oh yeah, definitely. So let's see. So my Instagram is called books_food_more11. So I don't know if it would show on here or if it's backwards for you, but
no, it looks good. Yeah. Plus, again, I'm gonna put like a little thing right now, and then in the description, you just click the link, and then hopefully.
Oh, cool!
Are you famous?
See, you're a expert.
For the mother that's watching, and maybe Corinne that's watching, who's probably already following your vlog, but they will be happy to hear the shout out, and maybe a random stranger that I don't even know is watching this, and they're like, "Oh, cool," and then they will. So we'll see. But yeah, definitely go follow Sammy's. Yeah. Definitely. Of course, anytime. Tom, do you have anything to plug?
I know nothing.
I know. I knew that answer right away. That's funny. You don't do like a YouTube channel, anything like that?
No, nothing really. No.
You do like shorts, like you saw that?
I know. Nope. We won't talk about it. That's okay. And the last one I thought of was, who's more likely to tell multiple stories at once?
Oh my God, it's her. I think it's more difficult to get her to tell one story at once.
Right.
Leads to the next, leads to the next, leads to the next. Yeah.
Yes. Have you seen the meme, Sammy or Tom, where like there's like how people tell a story? It's just like beginning, middle, end, and then it's like how I tell a story, and it's like the beginning and then the middle and another beginning, and it's just like it's like so many.
That's me.
Yeah.
So I was telling Corinne about this the other day, but there was a while back, maybe like a month or two ago. I don't remember what the context was, but we were talking about something, some like restaurant or something like that, and all of a sudden, like we're just walking on the street, and she jumps up and she's like, "Oh yeah, that place has really good like burgers or something." And I was like, "You mean like what place has good burgers?" She's like, "Oh, the restaurant." I was like, "What restaurant are you talking about?" And she's like, "Oh, the one we were talking about last week." And I was like, "Well, you just like resumed this conversation. Like I don't even know what's happening. I'm so confused."
I like picked up on a conversation we left off a week ago.
I just unpaused it a week later. I was like, "Wow."
That's too funny. So you weren't near the restaurant at all. There was no reason that it was.
No, there was absolutely nothing. I mean, it was just she didn't even say like the name of the restaurant. She's like, "Oh my gosh, that place is great."
I expected him to know what I was talking about.
You have to read her mind, Tom. Read her mind.
I know. Yeah, I should have. I should have.
You'll get there. You'll get there. That's funny. I love it. Yeah, good. I mean, again, me too, Sammy. I definitely get sidetracked with my stories. I'm like, well, I have to tell this one and this one, and I don't breathe while I tell stories. I get so excited. So I got you. That makes sense. All right, we're gonna move on to our second game, and I'm excited about this one. It's called I Know or Oh No. I reached out to Sammy directly and I asked her a few questions. And then I reached out to Tom directly and asked him some questions. Hopefully, I don't think you guys told each other what you answered because that would ruin the game. Yeah, I trust you both. Good. And we're going to try to guess what they said. Obviously, again, I know all the answers. But like if Tom answered the question, Sammy's going to try to guess what Tom said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it will make more sense when we get through it. And I will say the only other people that I played this game with are my parents when they were on the podcast like 2 years ago.
I did see that video.
Did you? Oh, good.
I did see that video.
Yeah, it was a cute moment. And I remember when I asked my parents, like, so would you want to be on it? My mom was like, sure, yeah, whatever. And I was like, So
Yeah.
I got him on because he loves me, luckily, and all these things. But he was kind of like hesitant at first, but he had a good time. So anyway. Okay, let's start with Tom's first question. So again, Tom, don't say your answer yet because we're going to give it to Sammy. But I asked Tom what his favorite part of college was. And Sammy, I want you to try to think of what Tom answered.
Huh. Favorite part of college?
I know it's a tough one.
Maybe the meals being ready all the time, if I had to guess. I mean, that's something that I know, like, he was very into, like, it's nice to just leave, and then, like, the food's, like, right there, and it's ready.
Yeah.
And it was all these choices.
True. Tom, reveal. Was that correct?
That was pretty much exactly what I said.
It was like the first thing you said, yes. Yes, the freedom of just going down to the dining hall whenever you want and just like getting whatever you want. Yes, I agree too, Tom, because like you were saying at the beginning of like having to get your own groceries and to cook your own food compared to just like walking down at any time unless it was closed, like just to have that like ability is like so nice. And you even said like it was free basically because once you pay that fee at the beginning of the semester, you were paid for it. So you have to walk down and get whatever food you want. And so I do miss that about college for sure.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. Even though I'm still disappointed in FSU's dining options, like it was okay, sure. But then I look over at UMass, for example, and obviously their campus is giant. But like we definitely could have been a little bit better with our meal options. But I heard that they've been improving over the years, and we just kind of unlucky. But we'll see.
I like the dessert table.
Sammy, you said that you have the food blog and everything. So what was your favorite meal? Like if you had to choose one that you've had recently, or like just go to favorite meal. And I want Tom to try to guess what it was.
I think I'd say ceviche or something like that. I mean, no.
I do love that, but it's not my what was it? My favorite, you said?
Yeah, favorite go-to.
And I think the question was like for either like restaurant or at home. I think it was.
I mean, I feel like 90% of what we eat is something chicken, one way or the other. So it'd be something like that. I have no clue. I mean,
I know it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
I feel like the answer is going to be like, oh.
I know. I feel like it's not.
All right, so you concede. You're throwing in the white flag.
I can see it. Oh no! What is it? Oh no! Oh, I don't remember what it was.
Oh, you say, oh no, right?
Oh no! What is it?
Patsy from Sharon Carey.
Okay. Well, it's chicken related. I got that much, but
chicken adjacent. That's funny. Good.
I love that stuff.
Yeah. Where did you say you got it from?
Sharon Korean. It's this beautiful Korean restaurant in West Roxbury, Mass.
On Center Street. Too, right at the bottom.
Yeah, right.
I think their Instagram is probably at Sharon Korean, if I had to guess. It's it's tagged in my blog too. But
okay. Good.
It's a great place. The food's amazing. The prices are great. They're new, so they're still growing their menu, but definitely check it out. Corinne went there yesterday with Bishop.
Yeah, wait, I saw that the food did look amazing from that.
Yeah, that was there.
Okay, I definitely need to check that out. Okay. Great. Okay, back to Tom's question. This one's fun. What made you want to ask out Sammy, Tom? And Sammy, you get to guess why he wants to ask you out. I know, cute, right?
So what made you want to ask me out?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think I don't know. I feel like a lot of the time he would always tell me like he loved how sweet I was.
Okay, but
He
unpack
loved
that.
how like,
Oop,
huh?
yeah. I was gonna say unpack that a little bit because like that's kind of
Oh, okay. Let me see. Like
you're on
give an
the right track. I
example.
will say. Oh, sorry, I keep interrupting, but you're on the right track. Yeah, sweet, and then you said something else.
Like he would always say like I was very like caring, like attentive, and like very like um I don't know, like I don't know how to explain it. Like I was very like making sure everyone around me was okay, but then always making sure like I was very sensitive towards people.
Mm-hmm.
You're on the right track. Like you're
Okay.
almost there.
I'm almost there. Okay, let me try one more. I'm very I don't know how to explain it. I'm very respectful of people. I'm
How,
very
how do you like engage in this? Like how do you like check with people, I guess? What do you do?
I give them hugs.
That's
Yeah,
true,
I'm
true,
a
but
great hugger. I don't know how to explain it. Like how to check in with people. I don't know. I'm always checking up on people in different ways, whether it's like depending on what they're going through, different questions I ask. I guess the only thing I can really come up with is like I'm very consistent when it comes to keeping my friendships.
Hmm.
So I don't lose track of like forgetting. Like if I do, I always apologize. I'm like, listen, sorry, like I've been busy, but like, how are you doing? Um, I am being like, oh, hey, do you want to go out somewhere? We can catch up. I don't know.
It's a funny, yeah. You're like dancing around it. It's pretty close. And then what's funny is
I'm
you
just so
mentioned it
close.
earlier, and you didn't even know this was coming, but you did mention the specific thing we're looking for.
Yeah.
What made you want to ask me out, Thomas?
Go for
All
it,
right.
Tom.
So what I went for was I said like you could talk to anybody, which is what we talked about earlier as well. But like you approached me and you were just like, oh, we were in the same class together, stuff like that. It was
Yeah.
I thought it was very refreshing to have somebody who could just like kind of walk up to anybody and initiate a conversation about whatever. So
Cute. He was walking past my room and I was like, hey, we were in the same class, right? And you said, yeah. And I think I asked him for his number, which is so forward of me. I have never done that before. And I kind of kicked myself in the butt for that too, because I was like, oh my God, he's gonna think I'm so weird. Like here I am saying hi and then being like, hey, what's your number?
I mean, it worked. It worked.
Yeah, after that day, we text each other all the time, never missed a meal together. And that was back in 2018.
Sammy, I asked you about possible names for your future kids.
Oh my
So,
God. Yes.
so
And I've told you this before too.
I was gonna say, I'm sure it's come up, but I'm curious, Tom, do you know what Sammy has thought of for future kids'
There was
names?
a name for a boy and a name for a girl.
I think you said Milo at one point. I remember Milo.
No.
No,
No.
I think she said Milo. Alex, you're getting me in trouble.
Sorry, no, it's not supposed to do that. It's just supposed to make this relationship stronger, maybe.
How many kids do I want?
2.
Yeah.
Okay, good. There it
And
is.
then
One done.
I can't remember names, honestly. I don't remember anything.
Give him a hint. What does the girl's name start with?
okay, so the girl's name is the Spanish version of my middle name.
Oh, is it Isabel or
Isabella.
Isabel? Okay, Isabella.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Right.
My middle
Okay, I
name is
remember that.
Elizabeth, but in
Oh,
Spanish, Elizabeth is Isabela.
Oh, okay, cool.
And for a boy, I've told you this one too.
I don't know. No, nothing.
It has to do with your family's name.
Oh, Matthew.
Yes,
Nice.
with one T.
Matthew with one T.
Yes.
Oh, that's so weird though. Yeah, my middle name is Matthew with one T.
Oh.
But that's because the last name was Matthews with one T.
Oh, cute.
But
Yeah.
it always looks weird writing it down because like, oh, I think you spelled your middle name wrong. And I was like,
Yeah.
Not quite. Yeah.
I
No,
would
it is.
tell that because
Yeah.
it runs in his family. Like I think it was his grandfather's last name. And I don't know, for a boy, I felt like I wanted to keep it in the family. But even if we have a girl, the middle name Matthew too.
That works.
I wanted to keep his family's name in there.
Yeah, that is so sweet. And that is so unique too, because I think I've met one Matthew with one T, and I remember thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh, unique, but not like it's just different, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Very awesome. I like that a lot. And now I know Tom's middle name, so I can use that if I met him.
very true.
Thomas Matthew.
Hughes Hamilton.
That's funny. Okay, and then I asked Tom about his favorite memory that you guys have shared in the past couple of years. So I know that's very open-ended. So Sammy, do you have any idea?
His favorite memory from the past couple years?
Yes.
Well, I from like the beginning, we'll say.
The beginning of us?
Yeah,
Like not
something like that.
being friends, like being official?
Well, I guess our favorite, just having known each other. That's it.
Favorite memory? We have a lot of good memories,
Yeah,
like so many. So, I mean, if I had to choose one, Um,
I can give you a hint if you want.
Wait, let me guess one,
sorry, yes.
and then you can give me a hint. Hold on.
Good plan. Good plan.
So, I would say like the little vacations we would take or staycations.
I thought about those, but that wasn't the one I chose. But yeah.
A hint.
We actually talked about this memory a little bit just earlier at another point. Like literally like 2 minutes ago.
Too far back.
2 minutes ago we were talking about how we met. That's your favorite memory of it?
No, it's a little different, but you got any guesses?
I mean, I would think moving in together if I had to guess, because that's like a big milestone.
Good guess, but no, it was what I wrote down.
Huh.
Should I say it, Alex?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh
no.
No. What I said was we mentioned the Cheesecake Factory earlier. The first time we went on like a date to the Cheesecake Factory like that, and I just remember you really like the butter there.
Oh my god.
And we like we were just Cheesecake Factory. We were just really getting to know each other, and they give you bread and butter. She really liked the butter, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, this butter is so good."
It was maple syrup butter.
Yeah, like maple. It was some weird like flavored butter like that, and she just like kept getting a little piece of bread and then like a pound of butter. She'd put it on it. I just said I thought it was like. It was really nice to see how you were like, not like afraid or hesitant. You were just like, I'm gonna eat like a pound of butter in front of this kid. And I just thought that was nice.
Oh,
that's
that butter was good.
I was like, I liked Sammy really was made a good impression, and Sammy's like, that butter was delicious.
I don't know how I don't know how he's put up with me like at all. Like, I mean, the first time like us talking, I was like, hey. We go to class together. That same day, I was like, "Hey, what's your number?"
Yeah, crazy.
And then the butter eating, which I don't know how he dealt with me after that. I mean,
you changed.
I'm so sorry.
No, don't be sorry. No, that's what he said.
Yeah.
Favorite memory. So don't be sorry about that.
True.
I wasn't expecting that one.
I know. So that's very specific, and that's what I liked about it.
That's
all right. And the last question I asked Sammy was, "What is your favorite gift that you've received from Tom?" So Tom, I know or oh no.
I think it's probably this one right here, maybe, or maybe this one right here. There's a little. I'm Irish. This is a Claddagh ring, so it's like a little historical ring, kind of cultural thing there. I know she likes that one a lot. So, I guess it's a little heart on it. It's romantic, So
it's romantic.
She likes the jewelry though, yeah. So that's what I'd say. Yeah, I think I'm pretty right with that.
Yes, I said both the necklace and
there you go.
Exactly correct. Nice job.
Because I normally don't really wear jewelry, but what he's giving me, I have never taken off.
That's so cute.
I don't care. Like the doctor can tell me take it off. I do not care. You know how when you go, like they're like, oh, like getting your nails done, they take the ring off. I'm like, no, leave it on.
Yeah, just leave it on. It's not going anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't take it off ever.
Good. And when did you give it to him? Give it to her.
The ring was maybe a couple years ago.
Yeah, I think that one was a couple years ago.
And then the necklace was maybe a couple months ago, I think.
Nice. Great. Yeah. And it's never left your neck since.
No.
Super funny. Great. Well, we survived the next game. I think that went pretty well overall, right?
Nice. I got one right at least, so that was good.
There you go. Yes. And I would say they were very difficult because a lot of them had many options. Like I don't think any answer that you said was incorrect. It was just like she was thinking something different. So that's okay. Great. All right. And the last game, I thought it was a new one that I wanted to talk to you guys about because it's called The In-Between. One of my pet peeves in life is when someone says, oh, there's this over here, and then there's this over here, but there's no in between. And I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. And it's okay if you do that because it's a habit that we all fall into. But like, I just like, okay, I'll give you an example. Like if someone says like, people either love apple pie or they hate apple pie. There's no in between. But I'm like, but I'm in the between. Like I just like I don't really love it. I don't seek it out, but I don't hate it either. So it's just like I don't get why people are so strong in their opinion of saying like it's either this or this. I'm like, but there's also the in between, if you will.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah. So and we're gonna go through some examples to figure out kind of where we lie on the scale. The first one I thought of was perfect for this conversation because I think I have a feeling of where it's going to lie, but I'm curious. So the introvert and extrovert debate. You guys know what introverted and extroverts are? Yes. So I'm curious to see, Sammy, I'll come to you first because you've told me many times in this conversation that you like to talk to people, that you get energy from people and stuff. So would you say that you're fully extroverted, or do you have some introvert tendencies as well? Are you in the middle? Do you have any kind of thing about that?
I feel like I feel like I'm in between and
Okay.
extrovert, because like I feel like in the middle would be like you're like 50% of the time one way, 50% another. I am more extroverted, but I do have times where I'm like, I do want to kind of hang out inside today and kind of do nothing.
Okay.
Or,
Gotcha.
sit in a corner and read a book all day. Or other days I'm like, I really want to get out the house. Like I just need to go to the mall, something, be around people. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm definitely, I guess, more in the in between with that one.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay, that's good to hear because again, based on first glance, like if I were to just meet you right now, I would think, oh, she's fully extroverted. Like she's no in between. She just loves people. But you're right. Some days you have that moment where like I want to be home and I just want to have a chill day. So that's great. Tom, where do you lie?
I'd say like I'd say definitely, yeah, that's where she is. I'd say I'm like the opposite part of that one. So like I'm leaning more introverted, but I mean at the same time, like stuff like this, right? This is a less introverted activity,
Yeah,
or like
for
going to
sure.
parties, things like that. So I engage in that, but also at the same time, like I'm just happy to be on my own, or just hanging out at home, stuff like that. But yeah, so I'd say leaning towards introverted and a little bit in between, and she's the opposite end, leaning towards extroverted and a little bit in between.
No, and that's why I love it because you guys balance each other out a little bit. Like
Right?
you got the extrovert side, she's got the whatever. So that's awesome. Great. I think I'm with Tom on this one. I'm more introverted, even though I love people and I love talking. At the end of the day, I'm just like, I need sleep or I need to just like be alone for like 5 hours before I can do anything else. So
Mm.
that makes sense. Great. So again, we just proved we're not one or the other. We're in between. Next one. Are you guys early birds? Like, do you like to wake up early, even on the weekends when you don't have to be up? Or do you like to be a night owl where you stay up pretty late at night and then sleep in the morning? Where do you guys lie for that one?
I really feel like for me, it would depend on what point in my life I was at. Because in college, I was very much like, I love staying out late. I would be out until like, I'd come home at 3 o'clock in the morning some days. And then I would schedule all my morning classes for like 10:30 rather than 8:30. But then towards the end of college, I'd rather all morning classes. And then now I love waking up really early in the morning because it makes my days feel longer.
Agree.
So at least right now, I'm an early bird.
Okay, gotcha.
For me, I mean, I could sleep like forever. I could just stay in bed. It wouldn't matter. Usually when I get up, it's because she's gotten up. So she'll usually wake up kind of early, and then I might sleep in a little bit later, and then get up after that. But I definitely lean more towards like sleeping in, staying up late.
Yeah, makes sense. Now I'm going to turn the table. Guess where I lie? Do you think I'm more early bird? Do you think I'm more night owl? Or am I right in the middle? What do you think?
Let's see.
Well, I feel like, I mean, you work at a school, you work with students. I feel like you kind of have to be a little early birdie, at least to get up with that. But I don't know. I mean, I think I lean more towards early bird for you.
I feel like if he was on vacation right now where he didn't have to wake up early, I feel like he would probably wake up early just because, like, get ready to start his day or go. Because I've seen your vlogs where sometimes you're like, take a walk with me. It looks like I mean, the day, it looks like it's early in the morning because you don't really see too many people out. But, like, I don't know. It seems like you have a lot of time, like, for like refreshing early morning walks and being like having longer days that way, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. But I don't know. I would guess early morning.
Yeah. Okay. Great. I wanted to be an early bird. I really do. I really wanted to like wake up early, but there's some days where like Tom was saying, like if I wake up and I can actually sleep in a little bit more, then I kind of want to take that opportunity. So I think I'm leaning towards early bird, yes. But on a weekend, like this morning, for example, I woke up around like 9, which is like early-ish, but it's not early by any means. Like school
Yeah.
by 6. 6 is very early. And I
Yeah.
set the alarm, like I won't wake up naturally that way. But once I'm up, I'm fine and I can like make conversation, I can be fine. But if it's up to me every day, I like to kind of ease into the morning a little bit. I'm usually on Instagram for like half an hour before I actually like get up before the day. And it's funny that you mentioned the video I made about walking because I purposely try to make it like looks like I'm alone, but I'm really not. Like there's people around. I just try to like kind of crop
So
them out
funny.
almost. So yeah, just like kind of phrase it. So that walk I think was like early afternoonish.
Oh, wow. No,
Yeah,
I
you
wouldn't.
never know, right? So I mean, it depends on the day, but that specific one that you're thinking of, I think it was like probably early afternoon for sure.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, it's just like I like to be up, like you said, Sammy, to like start the day like and have the rest of the day in front of me. But sometimes I'm just like, but it's so comfy in my bed and I don't want to get up yet. Like so I'm definitely like in the middle there too. Is that there's optimists in this world that think like, oh, look on the bright side, everything will be okay. And then there's the flip side of that where you're a pessimist and you're always thinking like, well, this stinks, like nothing's going well. And what's funny about pessimists is that they are technically called realists because they're thinking of the reality behind it, not just thinking like everything's fine, everything's great. They're also thinking like, but there's the reality too that we got to consider. So I'm curious about that scale where you guys lie on that one.
I feel like I lean a lot more towards
Optimism.
sometimes I find myself like I don't want to think about something not working out, depending on what it is. Like, I don't know, some things could be something as small as like, I don't know. I hope this new clothing line comes out sooner or later, but then it could be something bigger, like, you know, I hope something doesn't happen, like something bad, you know, or like I hope I get this job, something like that. I don't know. I tend to lean more towards optimism, but sometimes I have to remind myself that, you know, don't want to set yourself up and then get disappointed. But I still have a habit of being very in the optimistic side of things.
Yeah, that's awesome. Tom?
I feel like I'm definitely a realist, but like I'd like to think I still am like really positive about that kind of stuff because I don't, you know, I like I stick to like realistic stuff, but I kind of pay attention to like the positive side effects of that. I guess I'm an enthusiastic realist, you know, like I'm optimistic about my realism, you know, something like that. It's not like I dwell on depressing facts or anything like that, but I'm like, oh well, this is how it is, and this is like the best way this can be, you know, but I still kind of try to, you know, make it grounded in like, you know, the most realistic scenario, something like that. So that's what I'd say.
Let's wrap up because it's been an hour already and I try to keep these to an hour. I know, didn't that fly by? So what I do with my guests is called a 3-2-1, and I have them share 3 thankful thoughts because it all starts with T and I love alliteration. So it's just things that you're thankful for at this moment. It could be people, it could be things, it could be family, whatever you're thinking of right now that you're grateful for. 2 takeaways, so that will be 1 each, where you just take what we talked about today, whatever it is, and kind of take away something and reflect on it in a nice way. And then 1 ounce of optimism, and we talked about optimism, just kind of looking on the bright side, something to leave our viewers with that like feels positive and kind of encouraging to leave them on. So if you guys have thankful thoughts ready to go, I'd love to hear them. Just things that you're happy about or grateful for. Whoever wants to start can do so.
Gosh, I mean, I feel like we're both pretty grateful to you know, have our own place now, at least too. So we found a nice apartment. It's been great so far. We've been here almost a month, I think, something like that. So it's definitely thankful for that.
I'm definitely thankful for, you know, the amount of support that we've had in getting to this point. We've had a lot of support from both sides of our family and our friends, but it's like helping to, you know, they move their schedules around to help us be able to move in and even give so many things like furniture that we didn't even have to buy, but also helping us come up with a plan on how to better save to get to the apartment. So that's been another thing that I think we're very thankful for.
Great.
And let's see. I guess just thankful that we're here together in this apartment. You know, we can keep going, planning for the future, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then takeaways. So something that we talked about or something that's just been on your mind lately that you kind of want to reflect on. I know it's kind of a large question, but anything you want to share, I'm happy to hear about.
I mean, I think one thing I took away from today was, 1, I had no idea that my butter incident was a favorite memory for you. But besides that, I mean, I definitely took away on now talking about it out loud. Just, you know, not that I didn't notice it before, but acknowledging out loud that, you know, he's done so much for us, especially like supporting and while I've been in school and while he's gotten his new job, like there's been so much going on at once. And, you know, I've definitely taken away the fact that he's definitely been like my rock throughout everything. With looking for an apartment and us working full time is a lot.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm the overthinker, so he's definitely helped me not overthink too much.
And maybe to see the light.
Yes. I guess I'd say a good takeaway is this has been a nice experience to like this, session in general. It really lets you like look at yourself, look at your relationships, your mindset, stuff like that. So I think that's been nice to really dissect everything a little bit, and grateful for what you do have.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. And then to leave our viewers with something encouraging, I want each of you to do like one little tidbit of optimism, something that kind of keeps you motivated or keeps you positive, whatever you want to share. Now's your time.
I would say, the best thing that's happened for me and that, I've learned over time is that things just kind of a way of working themselves out, like it's, you just put in the effort, you put in the time and, things will come your way one way or another. It just generally works out. Like, we found this place, we lost the unit at first before we even got to tour it. They all got taken up. And then, we were like, oh, this place looks so nice, whatever, we'll move on. But then they gave us a call back and said, hey, somebody, they didn't end up doing the deposit. Are you guys still interested in checking out? And we're like, yeah, okay. So we looked at it, we loved it, and we jumped on as quick as we could. So, it's just one of those things where it's like, it didn't seem like it was going to work out first, but everything just kind of fell into place and it's been great so far. So,
yeah. I think one thing I want to leave with the viewers is be kind to yourself. Like that's something I've definitely learned and learning still, like with help, of course. Like be kind to yourself, make sure you're taking care of yourself, you're eating when you need to eat, don't skip meals, drink lots of water. Don't eat too much butter. And
No.
but also really just like make sure like you're not just like, of course, make sure everyone around you is okay, but don't forget to make sure that you're okay, like mentally, like make sure that you're in a spot where you feel like you can lie to other people, but you can't lie to yourself. Like I can say I'm fine, but if I'm not fine, I know I'm not fine. Like, not that I'm not, but I like, like make sure that you are taking yourself not for granted, like take care of yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. Because I feel like once you're in a spot where you're okay, people sense that. Like I feel like that energy kind of is what people will feel around you. I feel like overall it makes you feel happier too, to have that balance. So I feel like that's something that people should definitely take with them.
For sure. Well said. Because I think you made a good point of like, if you don't put yourself first, then you're just going to burn yourself out and then you're not going to be able to connect with people because your own ability is just limited. So definitely to take care of yourself in more ways than one is important for sure. Very well done. So thank you, Sammi and Tom, for being here. I do appreciate your time because, like I said, we were busy, but we made it work. And I had a great time just catching up with you guys. And I will see you soon at Corinne's next Halloween party. That'll be very fun. Thank you for the viewers as well, whoever you are out there. Like I said, it's probably my mom, and Corinne. Hello, Corinne. But
hello.
We'll say hello to them and thank them for sticking with us throughout this conversation. And if you're a stranger and if you don't know who I am, I would love for you to follow and subscribe all the things and follow Sammi's food blog as well. That's in the link in the description. So I just want to appreciate the viewers as well. I create a question of the day every episode. Today's question of the day is related to the in-between and trying to figure out if anyone in the comments wants to talk about if they fell in between or if they were one side or the other. I would love to kind of have that conversation with anyone that's willing to share. You can leave that in the comments below. I also have a Gmail account that I like to check up on. If anyone wants to email me directly, they can at thevalidatingpodcast@gmail.com. I have the Instagram account that we talked about briefly. It's called The Validating Channel. And I've been posting one reel every single week for the year of 2023. And it's crazy to me that we're almost done with 2023 because I feel like we just started like a month ago and we've made it this far. So I'm almost to the end of my goal, but I'm already trying to think ahead of the next year. Should I continue the weekly trend? I don't know. So definitely follow me over there for more content that's a little bit shorter, a little bit more entertaining, even though this was entertaining to me, but I know some people's attention spans are kind of short. So if you want something short and just funny, go follow me over there. Thank you again, Sammi and Tom. I do appreciate you in more ways than you think. So thank you for being here. And for anyone else that's watching, thank you for being who you are and know that you're making a difference in this world. So I appreciate you as well. I don't know when the next podcast will be. I'm trying to figure out timing with another friend. I always try to say 2 weeks, but it probably won't be 2 weeks. My goal is by the end of the year, but we'll see where that leads. So thank you for watching, everyone. Stay validating, whatever that means, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.